Welcome back, everyone. I'm Jason, and you're watching Jason Jensen Trains. First, I want to apologize that it's been so long since I've done a sci-fi video. But I do have some exciting news for you. I've been working on producing some 3D printed detail parts that will be available on my website at jasonjensentrains.com. I'm not quite finished with them yet, but very soon they will be available on my website. I'm also working on producing some kits that are small dioramas that are modular. They interlock with each other, that can be built to make long dioramas, or you can stack them and build up. So you can build an entire sci-fi city like what I'm building here. Each kit has to be put together, painted, weathered, and I will have videos showing how to assemble them, how to detail them, how to paint them. So very, very exciting. And again, those will be available on my website at Jason Jensen Trains. All right, well, we've got a couple projects today. Recently, I released an HO scale kit called Dalton's Spark Plugs. Now, we're going to build that or make a location on the layout here that is Dalton's, but it's going to be Dalton's Kyber Crystals. So we need to make a storefront sign and come up with some type of way to do a 3D, make the sign three-dimensional. Sorry. And then we're going to be also making another sign to put on here. So really, this episode is going to be about making signs. All right, well, we have a lot to do, so let's get to it. Here are the signs that I created for the HO scale kit. Now, I made some for the sci-fi layout. And we'll glue a crystal right in the center there. Okay, first thing we're going to do is glue this to a piece of cardboard. And you can use cardboard from a cereal box or any food box. Okay, now we'll let this dry for a little while, and then we'll have to bend it so that it's nice and straight, because you're seeing that it's wanting to curl up. And we can heat the back side of it with a hair dryer and flatten it. So let's give this a while to dry. And then we'll come back and cut out all the signs and add some rust and dirt to it. Okay, next we're going to cut these out, and I'm using a brand new blade. I'll put a link, an Amazon link in the description below. I buy a box of 100 at a time. They're really inexpensive, but it definitely helps to use a brand new blade. Now we're going to take a sponge, and this is just a tile grout sponge that you get at Home Depot. Paper towel and some dark brown. Any dark brown will do. And we're going to make these signs look rusty. Be careful, you don't want to get too much on it. So you can see I'm first doing the edge. Go a little heavier in the corners. Just be careful not to get a repeat pattern. Keep rotating your sponge. I'll finish these in a bit, but first I want to move on to the next step to show you. We're taking some powdered pigments, and you can use colored pencils, you can use pastel chalks. So now we're going to put some streaks going down it. We're going to go around the really dark areas. Anything that is like a heavy area with the dark brown paint. I'll show you a little bit with using a pencil, and this is Sienna Brown. Okay, the signs are finished. Now, I bought this off of Amazon, and it is a Kyber crystal. I can put a link in the description below. And it has a little Kyber crystal inside it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to glue this to our sign. So first I'm going to, I'm sorry, I'm trying to find a piece of sandpaper. Rough sandpaper. Okay, I'm going to rough the back of this up a little bit in hopes that the super glue sticks a little better to it. And I'll even take my file and kind of rough it up. I'm just going in all different directions. Now, I want to get an idea of where I want it before I put glue on it. I really hope this works. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. So I cut a piece of wire screen that I got at Home Depot. And you can see the back of it's silver. No one's going to see the back, so I didn't bother painting it. Now we're going to glue this on here. And I'm just going to use Loctite super glue. Okay, I'll hold it there for a second. I'll see how strong this is. If it's not as strong as I want, I'll run some liquid nails across the back of it. I know that'll work. Now we can take more of our powdered pigment and add a little bit of rust to the metal. Yeah, that's good. Good and strong. Okay, real quick. I always like using the metal screen because after I get a bunch of signs on my sci-fi layout, I can then string wire or thread and just have it draped from sign to sign, or just have it draped and attach it to the building. Just having lots of wires draped around, I think, is going to add a lot of detail to it. So here are all the pieces cut out, and we just have to paint them and glue it all together. So You can see it's all in layers. Like this will get painted white. Then I'll paint this red, and you'll see the white letters in there. Then there's a frame that gets painted red, and that gets glued there. And then the same with the sign that goes below it. So it'll look like that. We'll connect the two from behind using round plastic tubing. And then in between, I want to put little springs. Okay, here it is, all put together and painted. Now I connected them with some plastic tubing and put a spring in between them. The plastic tubing is right here, and it is from Evergreen Scale Models. And the springs are just from springs I've collected over the years. I'm super happy with it. I think it came out really cool. I took a number 2 pencil and went over the edge of everything. It really gives it a metal look. Okay, so our new sign is going to go right here. Now first, this has to all be painted. And even before we do that, the inside has to be completed. All those parts have to be painted. We'll build some shelves and we'll have merchandise hanging. Yeah, a lot of work to do before we get this sign hung up. Now you can see probably that this is just sitting there. So this all pops out, the screen. This gray area is attached to the screen. So the whole thing just pulls out, and then we'll fully detail the interior. And I have to cut a door right there where you go in. Excuse all the mess here, but I'm working on building a elevator that goes right here all the way up. And I'm using parts from this kit right here. I have to put in a screen to fill in that hole, and it will look like this. And you can see track here. I know I've mentioned it before, but eventually there will be a train that runs on this level, and then a train that runs up on this level here. So here is the newest section, and I built this all out in the garage and then brought it inside. Now it gets another level put on it right there. Kind of like that level right up there, and then structures on top of it. Now the next level that gets put on there will be held up by toy guns, painted to look like machinery. So, for instance, and then we would have to cut it, or cut a hole in the upper level so that this goes all the way up through it, and then somehow secure it to it. And we'll be using lots of Nerf guns, toy guns, sorry, in the corners and just going up maybe to hide seams. Let me show you. So here you can see, here is one large Nerf gun right there. And then you can see a couple guns back here. Let me move this for a second. So you can see I have quite the supply. And we also have some vacuum cleaner parts. There's another vacuum cleaner part. Now in this corner here, we'll do the same as we did over here. So we used hair rollers, bottle caps, shoelaces, wire, so we'll fill that in with lots of detail, and under it and over here. I'll give you another example of some Nerf guns. Now this one, I just simply cut it in half and glued them to the back wall. I'll point out a few more things that you might not recognize. Here we have a couple bottle caps, a hair roller from the dollar store, piping from Home Depot, outlet box, some more piping from Home Depot, The large tube that goes through here are two coffee containers. And I simply put tape on them and then put little rivets that are just plastic jewels that women use for their fingernails. Here is a toy lightsaber, another hair roller, two Red Bull cans, so I want to give you a quick teaser of what I'm working on. Well, that's all we have time for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. And like I said, I want to get on a more regular schedule with putting out sci-fi videos. And of course, a huge thank you to all of my Patreons. If you'd like to become a Patreon and help support the channel, please visit patreon.com/Jason Jensen Trains. All right, and be checking my website. I will have some updates in an upcoming video of when I will be releasing sci-fi stuff, but also check my website at jasonjensentrains.com. All right, again, thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, stay motivated and happy modeling, everyone.